Hello students, welcome back to your class of SST. Now, in this video we are going to discuss about the political history of Cholas. We are continuing our chapter number 8, that is the South India and the Chola kingdom. So in this chapter, so far we have discussed about the introduction, the kingdoms of South India, and we have also discussed about the introduction, how the Chola kingdom started. So, the first of all Chola kingdom was started by Vijayalaya. After that he was succeeded by Aditya I and Prantaka I. Now, when we talk about Prantaka, he died in 955 AD. After the death of Prantaka I, till 985 AD, the Chola kingdom, the power of the Chola kingdom declined to great extent. The power of the Chola kingdom declined to great extent, but in 985 AD, means we can say that after the Prantaka, the successors were weak, and because of which the Chola kingdom declined. But fortunately for Chola kingdom, Raja I became the ruler in 985 AD, who again rose Chola kingdom to the power, who again gave the power or increased the power of Chola kingdom. Now we need to understand about Raja Chola I. So when we talk about Raja I, as we have already discussed that Raja I has again the Chola kingdom that was handicapped, he has given the energy to that Chola kingdom when he became the ruler in 985 AD. He defeated Cheras. Now Cheras was the kingdom that was lying in the areas of the Kerala with the coast of Arabian Sea. Now he defeated Cheras and also annexed Madurai. Later on, he also captured the Pandya king. Pandya king was a kingdom that was leading in the areas of below the Kaveri river, to the south of the Kaveri river, that was in the areas of Tamil Nadu. So he had captured the areas. He was able to overrule the areas of the kingdoms that are running to the south of Kaveri river. So he had captured Pandya king Amar Bajanga. He had captured him, and he was forced to sign the treaties. Moving ahead, he also annexed Kalinga area. Kalinga area is an area of Odisha, present day Odisha. He had also annexed northern Sri Lanka and islands of Maldives. So means if this is the India here, if this is the Chola kingdom, so Cholas were overruling this particular area as well, and he was increasing the territory in this particular area as well, in the northern Sri Lanka also, and in the islands of Maldives as well. So this way he was able to annex more and more territories into the Chola kingdom. But he was somehow able to maintain the friendly ties with Eastern Chalukya kingdom. But he was unable to maintain the friendly ties with the Western Chalukya. So he led tough wars with Western Chalukya and defeated Western Chalukya several times. So this was about how the Raja I of Chola kingdom gave life to the dying Chola kingdom, and increased the potential and energy of the Chola kingdom to great extent. Now we are going to discuss about the personality and the significance of Raja I. So when we talk about the personality and the religious beliefs of Raja I, so Raja I was a great devotee of Shiva, of Lord Shiva, and he also built a temple that we have already discussed, that was Brihadeshwara temple. We have discussed this temple in the topic of archaeological sources, right? So Brihadeshwara temple, also known as Raja Rajeshwar temple, was built by Raja I, which indicates his great devotion to Lord Shiva. It does not mean that if he is believing in Lord Shiva, then he is discriminating or criticizing the people, those who are having belief in different deities. He was a tolerant ruler. He was a tolerant ruler regarding the terms of religion and beliefs. He never discriminated among the people on the basis of religion or beliefs. All the people, those who are having beliefs in different deities, were also given the rights to worship their deities and according to their temples. Next, he was a great patron of art, literature, dance and music. Under the Raja Chola I, in the Chola kingdom, the great artists have took birth. Moving ahead, he increased the trade and also other economic occupations so that the economic standard of the people could be raised to the marginal extent so that the people could enjoy an economic stable state. Now, moving ahead with the next ruler, that is, so when we talk about Rajendra I, the ruler after Raja I, so after the death of Raja I in 1014 AD, means 1014 AD, Rajendra I took the throne of Chola kingdom. Now soon after he took the command of the Chola kingdom as a ruler, he annexed complete Sri Lanka. He sent his army to annex Sri Lanka completely. Now pay attention. Raja Chola I had only conquered the northern part of the Sri Lanka, but Rajendra I had annexed complete Sri Lanka soon as he became the ruler of Chola kingdom. Just in 3 years after he became the ruler of the Chola kingdom, he completely annexed Sri Lanka. Not only this, not only in the south, he also sent his army to the north as far as Ganga Valley in the areas of Bengal as well. So that is why he was the first king to send his army to the north, and that is why he is called Gangai Konda. This is a name given to Rajendra I, Gangai Konda. And he also formed a new capital known as Gangai Konda Cholapuram. Gangai Konda Cholapuram. Today this place is known as Ganga Kondapuram. Ganga Kondapuram. So, in and around the areas of Gangai Konda Cholapuram, the king has made several artificial lakes in order to make this area beautiful. So, several artificial lakes were made into which the water was taken from the around surrounding rivers. So, this was about the Rajendra Chola I. Now we are going to study about the personality and his role in Indian history. So when we talk about the Rajendra I, his appearance in the social and political life, we come to know that Rajendra I was also a great tolerant ruler. He have also not discriminated as his father did among the people of the different beliefs. And moreover, he was also a patronage of art, literature, dance and music. Under his rule also the trade, the other economic activities were flourishing. So this was all about Rajendra I. Now we are going to discuss about the successors of the Chola kingdom. So now when we talk about the successors of Chola dynasty after Rajendra I, after the death of Rajendra I in 1044 AD, Rajadhiraja I, his son, Rajendra I's son, Rajadhiraja I, became the ruler in 1044 AD. And he died in the Battle of Koppam. In the Battle of Koppam, he lost his life in the battlefield itself. That was fought between in 1052 AD. On the battlefield itself, Rajadhiraja I's son, Rajendra II, was declared as ruler of Chola dynasty. Now, he became the ruler in 1052 AD and also lost his life, and with this his rule came to an end on 1063 AD. After the death of Rajendra II, his brother Veera Rajendra became the ruler in 1063 AD and he ruled till 1070 AD. Now after the death of Veera Rajendra, Kulothunga became the ruler in 1070 AD and he ruled till 1122 AD. Now, this is the same person that we have discussed in the literary sources. We have discussed about the literary sources. A book has been written, an epic has been written about Kulothunga king. Now, when we talk about these kings, during these leadership of these kings, the dynasty was under great threat because all the oppositions like Chalukyas, Pandyas, Pallavas were combining together in order to defeat Cholas. So after the Kulothunga, the successors that came were very weak. And slowly and steadily in different parts of the territory, for example in the northern part the Chalukyas, in the southern part the Pandyas, in the south western part the Cheras, and in Sri Lanka their kingdom all inherited their independence from Chola kingdom, with which the Chola kingdom again withdrew its power to a limited area, with which later on it was annexed by different kingdoms and hence the Chola kingdom came to an end. So this was all about the Chola kingdom, its history, its rulers and their importance in the kingdom. So that was all for today for this video. See you in the next class. Till then, goodbye. Stay blessed.